The Prime Minister has posted on social media that earlier this morning, I went to AFS Adampur Air Force Station and met our brave air warriors and soldiers. It was a very special experience to be with those who epitomize courage, determination and fearlessness. India is eternally grateful to our armed forces for everything they do for our nation. So that is what the Prime Minister posted as he visited Adampur this morning, and he's shared more photographs. Shiv, back with us, and Shiv, it's really heartening to see the kind of excitement and joy on the faces of these Air Force men with the Prime Minister's visit.
You can only imagine what's going through the mind of these air warriors. I mean, they are literally in an operational area in the middle of a live operation, a historic military operation, nothing routine about Operation Sindoor. And you have the Prime Minister landing up. I am telling you for a fact that owing to security concerns, most of the people there at the base would not have known that the Prime Minister is coming. Only the top commanders, the base commander and others, on a need-to-know basis would have known that the Prime Minister was actually coming. This sends out a huge message at so many levels. A, he's with the forces, he's spending time with our soldiers, airmen who are on the front line, actually doing the heavy lifting of, imposing punitive measures on Pakistan. Number two, he's sending out the message that the Adampur Air Force Base is in ship shape, completely ready and involved in operations as it has been since the beginning of Operation Sindoor. C, he's sending a message to the families of Indian Air Force personnel saying, I'm with your men and women. You don't have to worry about them. I've got their back because I'm going to be there personally. D, this is a message to China. China has been peddling misinformation, saying, giving doctored satellite images to Pakistan for their domestic audience to suggest that the Adampur Airbase has been put out of order, has been damaged beyond recognition and will take years to be resurrected once again. And finally, this is a message, I think, to India at large to say, this is not over. This is an operation that's still very much on, and that the Prime Minister stands with, with the forces. I have been in frontline areas, when there have been dignitary visits and VVIP visits of this kind. Usually journalists are not allowed there when these things are happening, but they do get to interact with soldiers, warriors, air warriors and sailors after the Prime Minister has left. And there is no exaggerating how valuable and how much it means to people in uniform when they are visited, by the Prime Minister or the President. It is a huge symbolic gesture. It means very much to them. It may not seem like much to many people, but it means everything to those, who've put their shoulder to the wheel to protect the country, and especially at a time when the Indian Air Force has conducted India's most ambitious, audacious, risky and impactful non-war military operation. These images of the Prime Minister that he's put out visiting the frontline Adampur Air Force Base sends out all the right messages. It positively radiates psychological mind games as far as Pakistan is concerned. And I'm going to go ahead out on a limb and say, other than the Indian missiles landing in Pakistan Air Force bases, this is perhaps the biggest message India could possibly have sent out.
That's right. And just let's take a look at these visuals again. The Prime Minister sharing more of them. He posted, in fact, on social media about his visit to Adampur this morning. And just look at the joy on the faces of our Air Force men there, our air warriors. And Adampur especially chosen when they say, a picture means more than 1,000 words. This really is, signifying that. It's showing us exactly that, to have the Prime Minister at this border Air Force base, interacting with the Air Force men, with the air warriors, at a time when there's been so much tension and anxiety in the country during the time of the conflict along our western border. Many of the people in this area as well, remember, have been living under blackouts, have been living under stress of attacks from Pakistan. There have been drone attacks aimed at Adampur. There's also reports of missile aimed at Adampur, but all of it was countered by our air defense system. And now the Prime Minister, they're showing and standing with our Air Force men, with our servicemen. The BJP has announced, Tiranga Yatras in various parts of the country to appreciate the armed forces and Operation Sindoor, but nothing could be, more heartening or morale boosting than this visit by the Prime Minister. Let's go across to Nazir also, who joins us from Srinagar. And like Adampur, Nazir, even in, various parts of Jammu and Kashmir, there have been such stress and tension over these last couple of days during the conflict. But now, as ceasefire seems to be holding for the moment, what a visit, what a moment to have the Prime Minister visiting this airbase and just being there among our air warriors.
Exactly, and but also it shows, besides courage of the saluting the courage of the air warriors, air force, armed forces, and it, number one, the way it has shown the accuracy of India's missile strikes. It has shown the great performance of India's air defense system. It has shown the drone penetration into Pakistan, hitting the targets while it hurts, whether it was terror targets or the military targets, all that. But also when Prime Minister goes to this airbase, largest airbase, it also shows that peace. There's ceasefire along the line of control and the borders. India and Pakistani DGMOs have spoken, reiterated that not a single round will be fired from both sides. That is, they have made the commitment. And also bigger than that, much bigger than that, which nobody could have thought, that India and Pakistan will start moving forward with this lightning speed, which is that is withdrawal of troops from the border areas and the forward areas. That is what both DGMOs have yesterday resolved. So, and in the backdrop of that, Prime Minister visiting Adampur Airbase is a most significant thing. Not just when there's war-like situation, India can hit back and hit hard. It is a showing the courage of airmen, accuracy of missile strikes and penetration into Pakistan, and above all the India's performance India's this air defense system, how most of the missile attacks and drone attacks from Pakistan, they were neutralized. That is something Adampur, when we say which is housing S-400 air defense system, which is one of the most advanced missile systems in the world, and how it is so robust, how it has helped India's integrated air defense system. All this thing, when there was a lot of propaganda, Prime Minister reaching there, landing there, and tells the story. The airbase is perfectly all right. That is the story. And now, from that confrontation, when Adampur was used to target Pakistan and also neutralize attacks from Pakistan, now it is time, after the ceasefire, India means it, our Prime Minister can land there, not just to salute the air warriors, armed forces, everybody who took part in this war, limited war, but also shows now it is almost now all right. So we have achieved the target. Armed forces have accomplished their targets, mission. Now the leadership of the country is there to salute them and show what India can do in peace and also in war.
That's right. And let's just read out once again what the Prime Minister posted about his visit this morning, where he says, I met our brave air warriors and soldiers, a special experience to be with those who epitomize courage, determination and fearlessness. So a big message by the Prime Minister visiting the Adampur Airbase, one of the second largest air bases of the country. And let's go back to Shiv for more on this story and more on the significance and the messaging that it sends out, because Shiv, even though we say that there was a lot of propaganda and false news being put out there by Pakistan, by China, regarding the damage that was caused to the Adampur airbase, and even though it was denied by our forces, always there's some doubts that remain. Maybe something did happen, maybe there was something that took place there, but with the Prime Minister's visit really putting all those doubts to rest, at this time of psychological warfare, in a sense, with the kind of false news being fed on social media, the fog of war and whatnot. But now this, and look at this particular picture where the you have that, very wide shot of the Prime Minister where you can see the entire airbase. So very, very significant in putting to rest all those rumors and, fake news that was being spread online.
I don't want to use an extreme word here, but, this is the equivalent of a psychological slap to your enemy. At a time when your enemy, your adversary, in this case, Pakistan, has spent the last 4 or 5 days, 6 days rather, painting a picture of Adampur being completely out of action. Being damaged beyond recognition, the fact that aircraft there have been destroyed. I just heard from a friend in the government that one of the things that Pakistan had been pushing through social media a lot was that the Pakistani missiles had destroyed an S-400 site in Adampur, that 60 plus personnel had been killed in Adampur, that the runway has been completely deactivated by bombs. All of this, to be completely debunked in a handful of images of the Prime Minister at this frontline airbase, holds more than just symbolic value, because what the Prime Minister has done by choosing to land at Adampur is send out not just a psychological slap. This isn't just about busting misinformation. This is about sending out a very operational message. This is about reminding Pakistan and reminding really the world, some of which still stands amazingly with Pakistan, that India may have entered a ceasefire understanding with Pakistan, but our warriors on our frontline bases are on a war alert, on a hair trigger to leap, without thinking twice, following orders and getting straight back into operations. And let's make no mistake that Adampur's sheer geography, its location, very close to the international border, frontline airbase, which has been a staging ground for airstrikes in Pakistan across our wars in 1971, 1965, and after that, means that Adampur holds enormous both operational and symbolic value. The Prime Minister interacting with the base commander, the pilots, the radar controllers, the air traffic personnel, the maintenance men and women, the air warriors across so many numerous functions at a large base like Adampur is going to be of inestimable value, because the armed forces don't often see their Prime Minister. Most men and women in uniform go about their careers in the military without ever getting a chance to interact with the Prime Minister. But for him to make a stop there, and it doesn't look like it was a whistle stop, it looks like he actually did spend a few hours there, had a meal with them or at least a snack with them, obviously also addressed them and, boosted their morale. But I have to say, after what the Indian Air Force has pulled off in the last few days, morale must be very, very high right now. So I don't think any morale boosting would have actually been necessary, but it's still such an amazing gesture that the Prime Minister has chosen to be there. I wonder if the Prime Minister will visit other military bases or sites, but we must also remember that there is a huge security implication to all of this. So the Prime Minister choosing to be in Adampur right in the middle of operations, 2 days after this very base would have been part of historic long-range strikes into Pakistan, sort of boggles the mind a little bit. I'm wondering how the security establishment pulled it all together.
That's right. Really, it must have been quite something to pull this off. As we were reporting on NDTV earlier about the meeting that Rajnath Singh was holding with the Tri-Services Chief, and as Shiv, you pointed out, the Air Force Chief was missing from that meeting, and now we know why, because then shortly after that came this news that the Prime Minister is actually in Adampur, where he has met with our air warriors there, and a big boost for them, and also, as Shiv pointed out, a slap in the face in the sense to all the sort of propaganda and wrong news that was being put out by Pakistan, by China, that Adampur had been compromised during the hostilities between India and Pakistan, during the conflict that took place. There you can see now we have a video as well of the Prime Minister's visit. Just take a look there, interacting with all those Air Force personnel there.
भारत माता की भारत माता की
All right, so there you can see videos now of the Prime Minister's visit as he arrived there, walking across the tarmac to meet with the Air Force officials and all the air warriors as he described them. And Shiv, there with us. And Shiv, the significance of Adampur in Jalandhar district and so close to the international border. Also, one of the lies that was spread by Pakistan, as Nazir was pointing out, was the destruction of the S-400 air defense system, which is here in Adampur. And so tell us a bit about the significance of that with our viewers.
It was one of the most aggressively pushed pieces of misinformation that came in from Pakistan. You saw it being spread across multiple handles. It had gone completely viral. There were doctored images and doctored satellite images that were pushed by Pakistan to suggest that they'd been able to hit, an S-400 air defense missile site situated in Adampur. First of all, there is no confirmation that S-400 even exists in Adampur. Secondly, for Pakistan to make this claim is ludicrous, because the Indian Air Force has confirmed at its armed forces briefing, and this is not something that can be faked, that there was no damage whatsoever to any of its S-400s. This is something that most people don't know. The S-400s did not even need to fire a single missile as part of that incredibly intricate symphony of air defense that played out during the drone swarms and airspace violations. So the Prime Minister being there in Adampur, in fact, someone just sent me a list of the things that Pakistan had said about Adampur, and I want to read it out because it's actually quite hilarious. They claimed that they had hit the Adampur runway. Pakistan claimed that they had hit an Adampur S-400 missile site. Pakistan had claimed that drones had hit the Adampur radar and sensor facility. Pakistan claimed that 60 plus personnel, air warriors, had been killed at the Adampur base as a result of their drone and missile strikes. Pakistan used morphed satellite pictures supplied, obviously, surprise, surprise, by China to suggest that damage had been done at Adampur. This has been debunked by open source imagery analysts. And finally, Pakistan said that the Adampur Airbase will be out of action for years since the damage caused has been so destructive. It will take years of reconstruction and renovation for it to be worthy of military operations once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 or 6 pieces of misinformation by Pakistan only pertaining to Adampur have been busted in just a couple of hours during this visit by Prime Minister Modi. And I think there couldn't be a better way to have